It's time to unbox my new MacBook Pro. Hey y'all, it is Beth Z, your nerdy best friend, with an unboxing of the new Mac. So I went ahead and printed out the specs so I don't forget anything because I'm not sure they'll be printed on the box. But I wanted to open it with you. I just got it in the mail. And let's see. So the reason I am starting from the box part rather than opening it up and getting to the actual thing is that I just love the way these look in the boxes. I mean, they just do a really good job of packing it up. I got an Apple, of course. I've been an Apple girl for quite some time now because I started doing a lot of graphics and I needed the extra power. And frankly, I needed something that was so incredibly reliable, and Windows just kept letting me down. So I went to Mac and I haven't gone back. Let's see. This is a MacBook Pro 13-inch. So I have a 16-inch right now. I have the MacBook Pro 16-inch. And this one is going to be a lot smaller, obviously. It is a 13-inch Retina display. I maxed it out. So it comes with 8 GB unified memory. So I got 24. I went up as far as I could. It has, it normally has like a half of a terabyte for storage. I got 2 terabytes. I maxed it out there. And then I got the 16-core neural engine. Anyway, I maxed that out too. So because I do a lot of video stuff, I do a lot of audio stuff, I have a lot of photos, I just need more storage. I hate even threatening to run out. So I just said top. It did cost, with tax, and I bought Apple Care, about $3,000, which is a lot of money for a computer. I know that, but for me, it's worth it. So let me open it up here and take a look. As I said, I really like the Apple boxes. I like the way they put them together. I like the way they feel. They're just very high end and very nice. Let me see. The chip on this is called an M2, and it's Apple's, I may get some of this wrong, y'all don't come at me. It is Apple's answer to the Intel chip. So the Intel chip was all the thing, and that's what I have on my other computer. And this is an M2. There was an M1. This is an M2. I bet there'll be an M3 by the time I finish opening up this box. But whatever. I got this one for a very specific reason, and I'll tell you. So I didn't really care about the color, whether it's like light silver or dark silver or banana silver. It doesn't matter to me. But I got, looks like it's a light silver kind of color. I don't know. I'm not really hung up on that. Most of the time, I should put on a cover anyway over the cover, and I do that in orange, so it doesn't matter to me. Never has. But unless it's a really fun color. So we've got a nice compact charger here, and at least it's in the cord. You know, nowadays with devices, the more mature they get, the less they send, and it's like, that's kind of annoying. So I have that, and I always get 2 of these, so I'm gonna buy, I don't know which one I need, whether I need to upgrade the other one, I probably do. But I always get 2 of these because I leave one on my home computer, on my home setup, and then I put one in my bag to take with me because I don't want to have to remember it when I travel. So I always get 2 of these. I haven't yet because, again, it just arrived today. Here we go, the unwrapping. And one of the other things is that I don't know how many of y'all have been getting computers for many years, but you remember they came big and there was so much stuff. And now look at the minimalism. We have a cord and we have a computer, and look how tiny this computer is. Now, I'm going to go get my other one. Hold on just a second. I'm going to pause this. Okay, so this is my computer that I'm using right now. And this was the 16-inch, which was their pretty large one. So putting these together, this is the new one, and this is the old one. It is really huge amount smaller. Like, that is way smaller. And I gotta tell you, I'm gonna feel a little sad when I'm on the road, I think, giving up that screen room, right? Giving up the ability to have the bigger screen, because I'm a little problem child with multitasking. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for me, maybe, but you get used to it probably pretty quickly. Just for comparison's sake, this one is probably a 2015 device. This is one I kept holding off on sending it back because I thought I might need it in an emergency, and then I was like, oh, I saved it till it was pretty much worthless. It still boots up and it's still fine, but this one is also about a 13-inch, but look at the difference in these numbers of years in the width of these. So this one is the older one, and this one is the newer one. And they are very different in width and weight. But this older one is pretty much the same size, just a little bit bigger even, size-wise, than the newer one. But you can tell right there, a huge difference. So that's the old, that's the really old. This is the new. Very sleek. Like I said, I'm gonna miss that screen size, but oh my gosh, look how easy that size is for a computer. And compared to this baby, this one would barely fit into like overnights and things like that, or computer bags. And this one pretty much fits in a purse, right? Very tiny. So again, it's still $3,000. Now opening it up, it's getting started booting probably since 2008. Manufacturers now send
to use English as
computers.
The main language.
Oh, listen, it's already talking to me. Since about 2008, they've always shipped devices at least partially charged, because way back in the day, they would ship them without any kind of charge, and then you would have to wait, and it would almost kill you. So then they were like, well, let's ship them partially charged so that everybody can turn them on. So this is what they call an M2. Like I said, it's that step up, major step up from the Intel chip. And so everything is going to be faster and smoother. And the processing power is supposed to be amazing. Now, to tell you the truth, I bought something called the Mac Mini when it first came out with the M1. And I probably spent $1,500, but I think I traded in another device, and so it wasn't that much money. But I spent some money on it, and it's supposed to be incredibly smooth for video processing, for video conferencing, for all these kind of things. But I never ended up using that Mac Mini because I don't like to resync things, right? So I had my portable device, and I had the Mac Mini. And the Mac Mini was supposed to be like my desktop, because it's just this little square hockey puck thing that you hook up to a screen, and it has to have a screen and a keyboard that you bring with it. It's not really like a laptop. And I just kept getting annoyed because I would have to wait a few seconds for things to sync, and it wasn't always like totally in sync between the two devices, and it would be, but it just wasn't that convenient, and I just wanted to use one device. So that one sat in a box completely unused till I traded it in for $300 and some odd to get this one. So that was still, so I got $350 off this one because I traded that one in. But that was a Mac Mini. This one is a mini Mac, but it's still a MacBook Pro. So let's look at the side connections. they hurt my feelings. They do have an audio port, which is nice, and the audio port sometimes is a challenge on some new devices, but this is it. That's all they gave me. Those are all the ports they gave me, which means that I gotta dongle myself to death on all these things, which is fine. But on this one, this is something I'm also gonna miss. It had 2 plus the audio, and then it also had 2. So helpful, so helpful. And now I'm back down to just plain old 2, like the other ones were. Some others that I've had, and I don't like that. Apple, if you're watching, please give us that options. I'll pay extra if I have to have extra for a couple of more, but it's for people like me who attach all these different things. It's just a pain to have to drag everything from those 2 places and then build on and build on and build on and daisy chain to get enough hooks and ladders into my stuff. I know. Not a huge problem, but an annoyance. All right, here we have the device. Oh my gosh, is that a little scratch? What is that on my new computer? I'll have to look at that. Here we have the brand new device. I am going, there's a couple of them. I'm going to open it up. Here is why I bought this model in particular. This is the trackpad. All right, you can barely see it on there. It's the trackpad. Now, the trackpad I have on this device, and I have it on this device. And the trackpad saves my rear. I'm a speaker, and I do PowerPoints, huge PowerPoints. And then when I'm presenting, I have a lot of different topics that I could talk about, but during the presentation, I'm going with the flow and I'm like, oh, you know, I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. And so instead of being up in front of a crowd and trying to say, oh, I don't want to talk about this, or I don't want to talk about that, and just trying to flip through, I can very quickly use that trackpad to choose the ones I want. It's just a touchpad, sorry. It's just a little lit screen kind of thing that when you have, it changes for everything you have up there. And when you have a PowerPoint or Keynote open, Keynote is the Mac equivalent of PowerPoint, it will have all of the slides on that line. And so I can just scroll through and click the ones I want and change topics. And I tell you, that's how I operate. So to me, this is something that is so critical for how I want to help people. And I need to have that because I switch back and forth. This is way too much information on this topic, but because I switch back and forth from my PowerPoint to live demos of different things I'm talking about, I can't do the just regular PowerPoint presentation where it just takes over the screen and then you have the presenter view. I don't have that because of the way I have to present. So instead, I have to have that bar so I can go back and forth. So helpful. So the bar, this is going to give me an error because I pulled it out without undoing it, you know, shutting down or whatever. So watch the error. But this bar changes for everything that's on the screen. So this bar, some people hate it. And Apple, people were like, it's a big fail. Everybody hates it. And I'm like, I love it. And some people love it. So very few devices have it. I couldn't believe they gave out one that had it. And I was like, that's a sign. An M2, you know, the higher processor with this was like, I gotta get it. Another reason I got a new computer right now is because mine feel good internally. in their lives? About 2 years. I am so hard on computers. I make them work very, very hard. And if I stayed home and just, did light things on the computer, just use office tools, that would be one thing. But I do a lot of video editing. I do a lot of video conferencing. I do a lot of multimedia management. I do a lot of different things, and I make them work. So this guy has been huffing and puffing. I can hear it just chugging along. It gets really hot. And I'm like, you know what? I don't take chances. I don't work with a machine that's not at top form. So they last about 2 years. Guess what? Bought this about 2 years ago, and I may trade it in. I have it in to trade it in. I'm going to get $525 for it or something like that, and then it'll be applied to the $3,000 that I paid for this. But I may end up saving it just in case. But I end up, when things starting to get risky, I just buy one anyway. So anyway, I have this new one so far. I'm liking the setup so far. I'm liking the look. The keyboard is definitely very similar. I mean, it's similar. It's just the same stuff. That's one thing about these Macs, is that there are so many things that are exactly the same. The operating system, when it changes for almost all of them. So a lot of the big changes that happen change in the software, and you're already having that be across all the devices you already have. So I don't expect many hardware differences in here, except, of course, it'll be a little bit smaller in terms of, well, everything. I'm expecting the camera to be a little bit better. I don't like internal cameras in general on Macs or on any PCs because they're never as good as an external. I don't say never. I shouldn't say never. But they're frequently not as good as an external device you can buy. So I always recommend getting a separate webcam, getting separate microphones. So I'm sure it's great, but is it as good as I want to do for my presentations? I'll still probably use the devices I have. And frankly, I have a setup in there that I spent lots of times and lots of money on, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of thought into the audio, the video, the different cameras I have in there. So I always do my webinars, or I try always to do my online programs from home, because I have that perfect setup. So I rarely probably am going to do a presentation from here. But I'm imagining that the camera will be pretty good. I'm imagining that the audio will be pretty good. The audio is never really good coming out of here. It's not like you're going to put it up at a dance party and just have these speakers. You got to connect to the other things. But I'm excited. Now, here's my dilemma, and I wrote about this on Facebook. I got this today. I'm going on the road for a week tomorrow. And setting this up is going to take me about 3 times longer than I think it should, and it's going to be hard to resist. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to focus on getting on the road tomorrow.
English as the main language.
I'm probably bringing this along with me, and maybe setting it up on the road, but I'm going to put it off until I can get a little bit further down. So, that's really, I wanted y'all to be with me for this. I'm excited to try it out. I just think Mac makes a really, really, really strong, solid computer. And now that Macs, a few years ago, not that many years ago, Macs and Windows did not talk well together. And if you had a Mac, you were such an outlier that a lot of the things you were creating had to be converted again, or they didn't go over very well. But now all that's changed. None of it is a problem anymore, really. And you've got a solid device that lasts more than 2 years for most people. And it's the state of the art, and it's going to be fast and awesome. And I was so excited to try some things out on here and share them with you. So thank you for doing this opening with me. I hope you learned some things. I hope it inspires you to make sure your own hardware is in a good spot. And until we meet again, this is Beth Z, your nerdy best friend, saying, nerd on.